We forgot to do the video coming over here, but we have just bought a motorhome. We're picking it up today. Hi guys, welcome to George. Thought I'd do a little tour today, kind of show everybody our home. So let's go inside. All right, welcome to George. Obviously, I am in different clothing now. Most of the video you're gonna see on this, I filmed a couple of days ago, but I made some mistakes, so I'm coming back and reshooting some stuff today, and I'm just gonna own it. I've never done a long form video before. I surely wasn't putting those dirty, sweaty clothes on. It was hot the other day, so yeah. Present Kelly and past Kelly are gonna intermingle in this post. It is what it is. I'm learning it'll get better in the future. And then after looking at it, I decided it really made more sense to just show some before pictures and then go back through and talk about the changes we made. So that's what I'm going to do with this video. And so let's just get started. After looking through all of our media, I had one video with the original interior of George. At least I had one. So right now you're looking at the front driving area. So I'm here on the passenger side of the coach. We didn't make too many changes here. The only thing we really did was pull down that vinyl covering that was around the window. The curtain that we saw came all the way around and covered the door. And you couldn't see it, but there was this, like, George had these weird kind of big heavy blinds that were light filtering on one section and then kind of this heavy upholstered blackout blind that came after it. They were kind of like a waffle fabric kind of style. And again, 25 years old, really dirty. So pulled those down, put up a residential shade, a residential curtain rod, and I made this curtain. I did put blackout fabric on the back of it to keep for privacy in the evening and keep the sun out. That's why it's down right now. This is a vehicle. It does get really hot when sun hits the windows, so we try to keep the awnings out if it makes sense to keep sun off the windows to when we're in places that aren't too windy to do it. And I am in southern Utah right now. This is a good time of year to be here. We don't have to worry about that this time of year too much, you know. Anyway, so that would be one of the changes we made here in the front. So I'm just going to do a quick pan around, kind of match the video that I showed you earlier. You'll notice right here, we pulled down the television that was here. It was in the way. That cabinet actually came out 3 or 4 inches. It hung down to here. Actually, you can see the staining on the ceiling, how far out it came down, or out and down. It was in the way. David actually hit his head on it a couple of times coming inside of George. It was in the way driving, so it really wasn't. It needed to go. So we cut that cabinet down, made this kind of open, storage space. And then again, we put up residential blinds in the front. Same thing over here on the side. Residential blinds, and I use sticky back Velcro to like keep them in place when we're driving, raise all the blinds, Velcro them down against the wall so they don't bang while we're driving. Works out really well. Yeah, so you saw the big, heavy curtain that was originally here that went all the way around. That thing was 25 years old. It was half off its tracks. It was hard to move, and it was just nasty. So we decided to just pull it down entirely, and worked out really well. It just feels more open in here, and not so much dust. And I guess one final thing, you got to keep it fun. A couple other things before we leave the front here. This is the passenger chair, around this way to the captain's chair. As you notice, they've got coverings on them. That's because we have cats, and 2 of our cats are very good about using their scratchies. Lunabelle is not. So I made these covers. They don't fit very well. I really need to take them off and redo them, and someday I will. Right now they serve a purpose, and yeah, the vinyl furniture, you'll notice as we go through the coach that we took out all the original vinyl furniture because of Lunabelle. And that is a perfect segue to revert back to the past, because when I filmed a couple of days ago, Luna and Cinnamon were up front, and it's really adorable footage. And yeah, we're not going to pretend we're professional here. Just move it back and forth in time. Past footage of cats. This is Cinnamon. He's trying to tell me it's time for his daily walk, and I'm not listening. He's our old man. He's 17. Loves to get out and meet the people. He thinks everybody at the campground wants to meet him. It's funny and annoying at the same time. Like, we see people, he's pulling us that direction. Most people love to pet the kitty. Occasionally you'll get somebody who just ignores him, and it's kind of devastating. I have to pick him up. Anyway, oh, and here's our Ms. Belle. Belle, will you say hi for the camera? Huh? What are you doing? Say hi. Luna. Say hi. Lunabelle is 6 or 7 now. But she is the reason we have covers on our seats, because God love her, she will not use a scratchy. One other thing I did want to show was the killer whale. We did an Alaska cruise summer of 2022. Bought that in Alaska at one of the stops with the intention of putting it in the motorhome. We had just bought it the week that we left. A week before we left, we bought George. And so bought this as kind of our inspiration. The teals and the reds and the bronzes. So he doesn't have a name, but he's really cool. So there we go. Yes, come hither. We will continue on through the rest of it. All right, so as you can see, we're looking down the passenger side of the coach right now. So on the passenger side, we put in this fold down desk. I will see if I have another video of it being used, because I'm not going to take it down right now. It's got the computer monitor and everything else on it. But we set this up as my workspace. So I didn't find a video demonstrating how the desk goes up and down, but I did find this cute picture of David all happy right after he installed it. On over back here, we have our kitchen area. Pretty functional. We've made a lot of changes there. Let me just sort of walk this way with you guys. So I think one of the biggest changes we made was taking down the convection microwave oven and putting up this little shelf. So the kitchen was already in pretty good shape. You know, obviously I've went through and restained everything, because that honey pecan and brass, man, that was a lot. That was a lot, so it had to go. So obviously I have went through, restained, actually just spray painted the handles. They've worked out pretty good. You know, we're a year and a half in. A couple of them could use, like, a couple of them that get used all the time could use a fresh coat of paint, but everything else looks pretty good. Living in here does not feel dark at all, but videoing, man, this has been a challenge to like be lit up enough to really see. Okay, so we're looking down the driver's side now. One thing I forgot to talk about while I was videoing is that we did pull up the original carpet in the front of George and replaced it with this LVT wood plank flooring. And then these are the original window coverings. They covered all the windows in George except for the driving area. They were these big heavy boxes stuck out 3 or 4 inches, which meant you couldn't push any furniture or anything right up against the wall. So we pulled those down and replaced everything with either a residential blind or a curtain. So same thing, this is the driver's side of the coach. I think the biggest difference you'll notice is that we've completely changed out the furniture. The sofa that it came with was really comfortable, but it was that vinyl that the cats are going to completely shred. And by cats, I mean Miss Lunabelle and Lunabelle only. All right, so we're over here in the little kitchen area. One of the things you notice right off the bat is that we got rid of the original furniture. Those chairs were huge. They were so thick you couldn't even, it was hard to get into them. You couldn't sit at the one at the back. And they took up too much space. They had that rounded back. We couldn't push anything up against the wall. They caused us to lose about, that was just that little rounded back corner, caused us to lose about 6-7 inches of space, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you don't have much to work with at all, you know, that 6-7 inches is precious. Anyway, so yeah, we put a bench in this side so we could put like our bigger kitchen appliances and just other extras that we really didn't have a place for. We originally had put cafe chairs in here, but this is now David's desk. He's not here, he's visiting home this week, but his office chair, his monitor is still here. He sets this up as his workstation during the week, and you know, he's been working a solid 6 months now, so it's worked out really good. So one other thing I did want to show you while we are here on the driver's side of the coach is our new sofa. So this is a really cool little sofa. It here, let me turn it around so you can see it. If you can see, it's got kind of a U-shaped design. So this whole upper section folds over flat. Basically, the little footrest ottomans sit in the middle. So it does make a full queen-size bed. I'll give it a kind of a C. It is a one-person sofa. It isn't particularly comfortable for 2 people to sit on. The best way to sit on it is sideways. But our captain's chairs turn around. Both of them do. We only have the passenger side flipped around right now. So we both have a really comfortable chair to sit in the living room if we want it. Honestly, usually after David sat in his office chair all day, he wants to go out and do something and then come back and like chill in the bedroom. So we don't really lounge in here that often, but we have seating for guests and comfortable seating for both of us. So underneath we built a box and that's all of our exercise gear. Obviously this is a tiny home. It's about 325 square feet of living space. So that's kind of how we, you know, that's how we solved the home gym. Yeah, we have a weight room in our little unit here. And, oh, one last thing before we leave the living room area. This wall you may have noticed on other videos. This was a mirrored wall, which felt very 70s. I don't know, porn star to me. I didn't like it. I get the concept, make it feel bigger. I just keep the windows open. See outside, feels just fine. So we are from Charlotte, North Carolina. This is kind of our route. We are currently in southern Utah and kind of putting the pins in places that we either volunteered or worked or stayed a long time. So the original refrigerator was on its last legs when we bought the unit. So it's one of the first things we replaced, knew we had replaced before we left. And it turned out to be a blessing because so much extra space. This new unit has way more space than that 20-year-old, 25-year-old absorption style. Plus, it gave us room for this cool cabinet that David built. We have all of our dry goods there. He made a space for like cutting boards, cookie sheets, and then our charging station up above. And we reused the wooden panel off the original refrigerator, so you know we had a matching board to use, so yay. All right, as you can see, we're in our little bathroom area now. Right here is our shower stall. As you can see, it's pretty much a full-size shower. I can take a shower just as long as I did at the house, so that's nice. You know, little vanity, got all the necessities and the little Turn the light on in here. There we go. Over here we do have a cabinet that it's kind of our catch-all. You know, got the little compact vacuum cleaner, trash, laundry, tool bag, ironing mat. It's our like washroom, shed, all in one. And then this is a pretty deep cabinet up here, so we have all our towels and linens and stuff up here. And then finally, I'll turn around to the bedroom. I know it is usually dark, so. This is our bedroom area. Not very big, but you know, big enough. Monster has given up on his walk. I'm busy. I probably shouldn't have woke him up. But there's our bed. It is a short queen. You may have noticed we have two bedspreads. That's so you don't have to share. 2 bedspreads means everybody's got covers. And I'm seriously considering like buying 2 top sheets as well. Yeah, you're welcome. Pro tip there. Anyway, over here, you know, David has his wardrobe here with all of his stuff. We got a guitar sitting here. There was another giant tube TV here. We pulled that down. That was a huge cabinet back there. So that's where we keep all of our gear, our biking, hiking, camping gear. And actually our like travel duffel bag suitcases are up here. So it's really big space. It's nice to have. We put the TV on an arm so we could just put it up against the wall. That's worked out really well. This is kind of David's little space of the unit. You know, put up some extra hooks on the wall for his stuff. So this is my wardrobe over here. I've got a slightly bigger wardrobe, but I do have fewer drawers. Those are the drawers over there. And then I've got some hobby stuff and like my toiletries in those too. And in this one right here, this is our like media cabinet. So, oh, and one other thing we did pull those drawers out because the bed is so close, you just can't open them. I've actually made a whole lot more space. That's where we keep things like his gig bag, shoes, and you know, some extra stuff. So, and then my shoes. He found these really cool hangers. Just, yeah, so we built a shelf here and my shoes are over here and David's actually fit under the bed. As you can see, I'm outside now. Just thought I would show you kind of an outside of the unit. We do have a lot of storage underneath. Thought I would give you a glimpse of that. Obviously grab my hat so I can see because it's bright out. Anyway, so the coolest thing we did, again, the cat boxes. Check this out. Hello again. So when I was going back through the footage, putting everything together, I realized I didn't actually show you where the cats go through to get underneath the litter boxes. So here's my desk. Back up here under the corner, we cut a hole in the floor and that is where they access the litter box at. And while I'm at it, I also come over here. Yeah, so I did want to come over here. This is the kitchen table. So for Scratchies, we ended up wrapping the legs in Cecil rope. And, you know, Max and Cinnamon use it, love it. But Lunabelle does not. But anyway, this is how we kind of solved the Scratchy problem without taking up space in the floor for something else. We just utilized our table legs. So if you have cats, there's an idea for you. As you can see, like David built these cool box. This is what the cats go right down into. Look at this. This was a new addition this summer. Put it on drawer rollers, so just easier to clean. Pull it all the way out and clean it. So if you have cats, I cannot tell you. Of course, somebody would drive by. So worth it. All right, so over here, this was the cat bin that we just looked at. These two actually go all the way through to the back across the length of the unit, so maybe 8 feet. We have everything in bins in here. This is my sewing machine. We've got extra clothes, supplies, work supplies, tool bags up under here. This one is really cool. That open. So this one actually has a sliding drawer that pulls all the way out. Open it up one more time. So, yeah, it makes it really easy to get to everything all the way on the other side. All right, I'll just do a quick little walk around the rest of the unit. This is our water tank. No real storage there. Water tank is in there. See that right there? We haven't been able to put our awning out very much. We've been in very windy areas. I put it out this spring when I thought we would be good. It was such a calm day, and I swear to God, 50-mile-an-hour winds came out of nowhere, tore the awning half off. It was beaten against George. It was drama. Yeah, so in here is our extra batteries. That just gets us through to the engine area. One other thing, we do have 4 bikes with us. So we just bolt them to tables wherever we go, cover them up with UV covers, and that's how we handle our bikes. 2 of them can ride on the back of George traveling, 2 of them ride on the back of the car. Walk around here to the back. There's the bike hanger. And then I'm not going to go into the sides over here, but this one on the end here is our power bay. Walk around here. This is where we dump our tanks. I know I had a couple of friends look at me like, how do you handle your waste? It's easy. It's back behind here. Just open it up. As you can see, they're knife valves. I don't need to dump the black tank right now, but you just pull it. And that's it. It's that easy. So up under the slide, like those first 2 bays would be where the 2 bays that I showed you on the other side, that's where they come through at. And then the final bay over here, which is also up under the slide, so I'm not going to go up under there, but it would be directly across from where the cat box is. That bay does not go all the way through. That's where the fuel tank is. So we have all of our tools up under there. Whole Ryobi set of tools. We have, I don't know, like massive toolbox, and just, we are prepared. David is prepared. All right, last thing, one of my favorite things about George. See that face? See that face? He's smiling. He's always smiling down the road. Here's his eyes. Here's his nose. And see this little depression down here? Is that not just the perfect little smile? It's adorable. I'm gonna have to make like a little gif of George running down the road with a smile. Anyway, so that's, this is our home. Not sure what else to say at the moment. All right, so hold everything. One last, I forgot to introduce Max. I'm a horrible cat parent. Anyway, Mr. Maxwell, will you say hi? Maxwell, will you say hi to the camera? Will you say hi?